So this chart traces temperature, dew point, and relative humidity at the Lyndon State College weather station for 3 days at the beginning of August 2015. There are actually two temperatures posted here because there are two thermometers, one at 2 meters above the ground in light blue, one at 10 meters above the ground in black. We have dew point temperature being traced here in green. And then finally, relative humidity is traced here in orange. The scale for relative humidity is on the right, and it generally goes from 40 to 100. Here it actually goes to 120, and you'll notice it never goes above 100% relative humidity. The dew point temperature and the temperature itself is plotted along this temperature scale in Fahrenheit along the left. You can see that that scale goes from 50 to 90 degrees as well you might expect it to in August. These traces of dew point and temperature can tell you quite a bit. You notice that they start at midnight here and that these times are in Eastern Daylight Time. You see 1st of August is here at midnight. If you look carefully at that time, you will see that the atmosphere is saturated, or that at least at the surface it is, at 100%. This means that the dew point and temperature are equal, which is confirmed over here for much of the night, all the way out to 9 o'clock in the morning. This would correspond to foggy conditions, which is very normal in Vermont in August. There's generally a lot of humidity around at that time of the year, and as well, things can cool off all the way to the dew point overnight. So you can see in the morning around 9 o'clock over here at this point that the relative humidity all of a sudden dips down because the temperature increases. Now, because the dew point stays relatively the same, relatively constant, there's some fluctuation here, the relative humidity all of a sudden plummets. What you would observe during this time is the fog at the surface actually burning off and dissipating. The warmer it gets during the day, the lower the relative humidity goes. In the evening or morning of the second, the atmosphere gets saturated once more at 100% relative humidity, while the dew point and temperature are once again equivalent during most of the nighttime hours. What we'll do now is look at station reports here for the 2nd of August at around 6 o'clock in the morning. That corresponds to 10 UTC or 10 Z global time. And we're looking at this time right here for most of Vermont and New Hampshire. And what you see depicted here is surface stations for the entire area. The ones that are circled here are areas that are reporting fog. This does not mean that there isn't any fog at these other stations. It just means that they happen to measure fog at these stations. I believe this one here is Morrisville, Vermont. And I believe this one here is Concord, Maine. No, Concord's further south. Well, I'll look it up later, find out what it is. So this station is actually in Plymouth, New Hampshire. You'll notice that at these stations, the dew point, depicted here in green, is actually equivalent to the temperature. Up here at Morrisville, there's only a 1 degree gap between the two. I should mention these temperatures are actually in Celsius, which is why they might seem a little bit cold for August, but remember, in Celsius, this is actually around 60 Fahrenheit. So you can see here for a large portion of Vermont and New Hampshire, particularly in the valleys, that the temperature and dew point is very close, and you would expect widespread fog here over northern New England during this time.